Alright, so we're back at it again today. We got a 1 hour timer going. Um, we're going to be picking up where we left off in the last episode, which was episode 10, if I recall correctly. Basically, we just got back from salvaging. I had moved all of the new components over to the base, or the Hideout 1 storage. And this episode's going to be pretty boring. Pretty straightforward. We're just going to put all of the components that we can into the assembler, disassemble, get all that iron that we can get, probably make a few, or as many rounds as we can, first and foremost, for the artillery cannon. And then once we get that going, we're then going to start moving the steel plate that we currently have onto the armor of the ship, and then once that's done, we'll start producing more armor plates and just try to get as far as we can. We currently have about 6,500 plate, so that's pretty good to get started with. Go ahead and open the assembler here, and we're just going to go ahead and start throwing everything over. Actually, these thruster components, I'll keep those, but everything else, we're going to move that over and then go to production and disassemble all. And we need to turn the assembler on. There we go. And while that does its thing, we're going to go and hit up that unknown signal that just popped in. One thing that I'm looking at here, I want to see, do I actually have, I think I have control, like access to everything on here, which I can check through the thing here. Let's go here to control panel, show hidden. Yeah, I have access to everything on these, so I should actually be able to just carry some components with me and like throw a seat and a gyro like on here, just like the small grid stuff, and I should actually be able to fly these back to the base like in whole, which I might start doing, not with this one obviously because I'm grinding it down, but for future signals, what we could do is carry components, like blocks, like whole small grid blocks worth of components, just a couple thrusters, gyro, and like a seat of some sort, probably like a control seat or maybe even a small cockpit, whatever has like the least resources, but would still let us drive it. And we should be able to just like start flying these back to the base rather than breaking them down like I did that one there.
Energy low.
We're gonna get back, dump these components in the assembler, and then charge up. But I'm thinking that might be a good idea for collecting up those signals and then just using them as like a way to like Frankenstein some of them together to get like a smaller ship. So here, I want to come over to the assembler and just, if I can, dump these parts directly in. The thruster components we're going to keep as is, but everything else can go. Yeah, and the steel plates can stay too. But throw those in there and grab these steel plates, charge up, and then start loading up. And what I'm thinking is probably we'll start off with these side blocks here, like anything that's protecting a thruster, like directly. We'll do those first, and then whatever else is left will kind of go in order of importance as far as these blocks here go, just to try to get as much protection down as we can before doing the rest of it. So anything that's like directly connected to a thruster we'll work on first. And I should have a pretty sizable chunk of the plate we need, but I don't think we're going to have all of it. I'm almost certain that we don't have all of it, but we're just gonna keep doing this, and I reckon I'll stop talking while we do this. Now, one thing interesting is when I have one of these blocks highlighted, if we look over there, it says the mass of the grid, and the mass actually isn't changing as I add the plate into it. So I'm thinking that the block itself, like whatever weight is tied to the block itself, is added to the ship as soon as you place that block, regardless of how many components are actually in it. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that. I could very well be wrong about that, but I'm noticing that the weight of the ship itself actually isn't increasing as we put these components in, so... Okay, so we got this side here done pretty much. I'm thinking go ahead, fill up some plate, and then go to the other side.
Energy low.
So we actually had more plate than I thought we did. Obviously still not enough to fully finish the armor, but we got a lot further than I thought we would, for sure. but we're still going to need a few thousand more. I'm looking to see where could I add more thrust, but I'm not really sure that I want to commit on putting any more on right now. Because, I mean, it flies decent enough as is. Like, it's certainly not perfect by any means, but it's not bad either. So we got an armor block here. We can't put armor here, but we can do probably like a plate of some sort, right? So if we go to the heavy armor panel, we're going to need more steel plate, so we're not going to actually be able to place this, but I want to go ahead and have it in my my hotbar. Now we can put a heavy plate on that.
Energy low.
And a heavy plate on that, and that should do wonders for giving that those two blocks a little bit extra protection. One thing that we definitely need to do is get a hold of some more materials for survival kits. Another thing that I want to do, now that I'm thinking about it, is come over here, and I want to turn the torque down on these. Something like that should be fine, and then same for the rotor. I want to turn the torque down. I think I had like 10.8. So yeah, something like that. Maybe it won't make the ship twist as much now. Let's see how far we are on the production here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over. We have a decent amount of iron now, so we're going to start production on that. Also, I want to check for the artillery shells. I'm not sure how many of these I can actually make, but we'll just say 120. And once we've produced as many plates as we can with the amount of iron we have currently, we'll switch it over to the artillery shells. Well, actually, no, I guess we need to do the artillery first, huh? Because if I use up all my iron now, I won't be able to make the artillery shell. We need 4 for that. Available is 0.7, so we can make like 3 shells, I think. 4. Okay. Let's see, inventory. Over here, hide empty. How much uranium do I actually have? Or did it pull it all? I think it finally pulled all of it. So we should be running out very shortly. Because I'm not seeing the uranium anywhere else in here. So yeah, we made 6 of them. That's certainly not bad. So we'll go ahead and grab that and move that over to the ship here. Actually, you know what? I want all of this ammo to be in this container directly behind the gun. And the ice I want to be in this container. So that way it's a little bit more protected. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. The Gatling is actually connected to that container, so if this container gets destroyed, then it'll sever connection anyway. But the artillery shells can stay in that one, because if that container gets destroyed, then that means the gun's already destroyed, so we don't necessarily need the ammo at that point. Because we're already up shit creek without a paddle by then. So we can go ahead and take those off production. We'll keep that going. And in fact, we'll go ahead and pull what we can and see what we can do with this. Probably finish up these 3 blocks and then start on the 4th, I think. Yeah, that's not too bad. The beacon's a bit exposed here on the back, but don't know of anywhere I can really place that and still have it like not take up a ton of space, or have me need to move a bunch of these armor blocks. Might be able to put it in the spine here and raise up a couple of these blocks. There's another place for it. I could probably move it more forward. I don't want to take up any of these spots here, really. I might could place it where the gyro is. That gyro and this forward block, and then remove this block and put the gyro in at the back, and I think that would be fine. We're also probably going to need another gyro. I'm not sure where to fit that at. I mean, for now that should be okay. It's all the way at the rear, and there's a lot of armor in between where we should be taking fire from and where that block is, so hopefully it'll be fine there. Let's see, we only got 24 more plates. Let's check production. Yeah, we're out of iron, so we'll switch it back over to disassembly. And we'll take these plates up here and finish that block off. And we just have the kind of spine sort of on the bottom here. What do we got here? A mining survey drone. Let's take a look. What does that have on it? Where did it go? It's right there, okay. It's hard to tell if there's weapons on that. I imagine there probably is, but it's just really hard to see it. Oh, oops, I didn't realize I was pressing a button. But yeah, it's too far away and moving too fast to get a good stable view, really. But I think there's a couple guns up there, and I know for a fact if we try to attack it, it's not going to work out too well for us. Got another unknown signal. I don't think this one's going to have any thrust on it. Well, it might. It might have like a hydrogen thruster in the middle if this is the one I'm thinking of. It should be shaped kind of like a saucer with a single hydrogen thruster in the middle, but I don't think it has any fuel for that thruster. Yeah, this is the one that I'm thinking about. Rainbow boots. We got a container. A little bit of iron. That's good. And yeah, the thruster's not even actually conveyored up to anything, so we wouldn't be able to fly this even if we brought a seat over, unless we just slapped a ton of ions on it. Another thing I'm not sure about is how much power these things actually have in the battery. Because it's only a single small grid battery, and I'm not sure that would be enough to really power a thruster in every direction well enough to get us back to the base, or the hideout, I mean. It's crazy how the zoom level works on this. It's like you can zoom in for like 5 or 6 ticks. Then if you go back one, it takes you back like way too far, and then you gotta zoom back in again. So far, I'm really digging the location for this hideout, though. I like the asteroids being all around like that. And we probably should charge up the suit. One thing I'm thinking about looking at this ship like this, having the whole thing in rustic red like that, at least with these repeating blocks, it kind of all blends in together. I might need to like maybe do like some black stripes on there or something and kind of break up the silhouette of the ship, or not silhouette, but you know, the kind of break up the ship itself a little bit. Make it a little more pleasing on the eye. So do we have enough now? Not quite. If we finish up these steel plates, or not steel plate, but you know, the whatever the fuck they're called. If we finish breaking those down, we should be good though. I'll just sit here and charge up a little bit. Okay, yeah, we got enough iron to finish off these parts here. Means we can finish that connector, and then we can queue up the rest of these steel plates. In fact, actually, let me check something here. Okay, I need to finish that before I add anything to the build planner. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can fit all that onto the build planner. And oh, I'm short one steel plate apparently. There we go. Alright. Grab that. We'll put that to the queue. Take a look at production. We need 6,200 more ingots. So I can go over here to disassembly. Check out the inventory here. Pull those plate out. Go here to production. Hit disassemble all. Make sure all of these interior plates are getting broken down. Interior plate, that's what it was called. Yeah, we'll finish up the armor, and then we'll work on conveyors and another connector. Get the ship docked up so that way we can charge it off of the solar, as well as get the oxygen coming in so we can refill the oxygen tanks on here, which should actually, the tank should be full, or just about. Where is it? Oxygen tank. Yeah, we're still at like 99. So we should be pretty much good with that, regardless. I think the oxygen tank over here is still going to be near empty, probably. Control panel, yeah, we got like 4%. So it's going to be real slow going, trying to fill that tank up with just a single oxygen farm. For some reason the oxygen farm only has one tick on it. I wonder if I need to build this facing the other way. Maybe this side just doesn't get enough light like that. Have to move the camera too though. But I've never really messed with the oxygen farms all that much, so I'm not sure if the rotation placement of that matters, like if the side is actually, because I know the solar panels, right, like if you have the sun coming in on the side, it won't really generate, and I wonder if it's the same with the oxygen farm, because it very well could be, and I might have completely butchered the solar design like that, because it definitely only has one tick when it should have quite a bit more than that. In fact, what I could do, let's see here. Oxygen farm and camera. And I should be able to just go ahead and grind that off and move it around. Okay. Yes, actually, it does appear like that does matter quite a bit, actually. So now, let's come over here. And we'll add the camera back up. Camera 2. And always in the sun. Toggle block on and off. And now, yep. So now we have 4 bars instead of 1. Let's check and see how much oxygen are we actually getting here. Okay, well it's going up just really slowly, even with having that in the correct orientation. That should be fine, I guess. Let's go to production, assembly, start making these plates. We still don't have enough iron really, but that'll be okay. I'm gonna hit up this unknown signal. And unfortunately, I'm starting to develop a little bit of a headache on the left side of my head. So I'm thinking once we run out of time for this episode, that'll probably be the first and only one that I record for today. It's a bit unfortunate, but I don't particularly feel like recording with a headache, so sucks for y'all. And I had some parts on me already. I'm not sure what those are from because I finished the camera and the other thing, so I'm not really sure what those are for. Oh, unless it was for... No, I did finish that. Yeah, that's done. Let me check this real quick. Yep, that's done. Okay, so I don't know what those other parts came from. Probably should have been paying attention. Production, disassembly, disassemble all. And take the plates over here.
Energy low.
It's a little wacky looking, honestly, but I think it's not too bad. One thing that I can do is I can go over here and go to the ship batteries, which is A and B, and I can set these to recharge and pull the power off of the battery on the top. I'm going to lose a percentage of it. Be 20% in total of whatever's stored in this battery will be lost. But I can move the power from there to the batteries on here. And then once this is drained, basically I'm charging the ship's internal batteries. I can grind it off, like detach it, not actually destroy it, but I can detach it and load it to the grid over here. I also need to put a landing gear on here as well, but yeah. So we got a little bit of iron from that. So I can start making some more plate. Once I hear it stop, grab that plate and bring it over here. Wasn't that much, but any is good. And oh, I realize I have iron and magnesium on me that can be in here. There we go. Alright, pull that out and then switch this over to, let's see, inventory. We got tons of these. Tons of those. Oh, we need to switch this to disassembly first. Then go to the inventory. Then grab all the construction components and the large steel tubes that we can. And disassemble. That should net us a good bit of iron there. Yeah, 4,000 in total. So that's not too bad right there. I'll let this run. And I'm gonna check and see. Yeah, we got 13 minutes left on this episode, so it's gonna be fairly boring. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that at the very start. Not really much going on here, just converting materials into what we need to work on the ship. We're gonna get as far as we can with this, hopefully finishing up the rest of the armor before the end of the episode. But if not, we'll be working on it still in the next episode. What I'm kind of hoping is that we'll be able to finish up the rest of these blocks here. Slap a landing gear on here somewhere, probably. Would be a good place. Thinking probably just like right right here would do. Slap a landing gear. It'll be 2 blocks down. So anything we connect to shouldn't get burned by our thrusters there. And it's not going to be super well protected. It might get shot off, but landing gear should be pretty easy to build off of the scraps that we get from any wrecks we come across or make. And I think that'll be fine. Battery, it's not decharging super quick. I can't really check on that, but we'll wait until that doesn't have any more lights on it, and we'll call that good. Grind it off, or detach it, I mean. Slap some weld plates and connect it to the base to be charged back up, and then that'll feed back into the ship when we get our connector built up. Go ahead and switch it over here. So, still need 5,000 more. Back to disassembling. We don't have quite enough off of that. So, we can move this to here. That in, as well as some of these. Hit disassemble all. Still don't have quite enough. We need 5,000. I'm thinking probably with the rest of these large steel tubes, we'll have the majority of it. If we need to, we can break down half these radio components and just have try to keep about 40, because that's what we need to build a antenna or a beacon. There's 40 of them. So we'll try to keep that amount in our inventories. Can't make any more artillery shells. Let me see here. What does the assault shell use? Nickel, iron, and magnesium. So we could switch to an assault cannon. I think that has a slightly less range though. Assault cannon. Oh, in large grid, we don't have a large grid one. For this, the assault cannon turret, it's 1,400 meters, which isn't too bad. So we could switch over to the assault cannon. And do it like that. Let's see, if we go over here to weapons, and what do we got here? 1,400, 800 for the auto cannon, 800 for that. Um, 1,400 on railgun. If we do switch over to the assault cannon, because we could do a large grid to small grid conversion and do a custom turret, and then set the range for the custom turret to be 1,400, and we could switch to assault cannon for that. We'd have to get a little bit closer, which isn't necessarily ideal, but it is doable if we run out of artillery shells and just cannot produce any more. We can look into swapping this out for a small grid turret instead, which we could either do that with the hinge and change the hinge bit to be small grid, or we could do it with the rotor and change the rotor head to a small grid rotor and do it like that. personally, I would prefer to do it with the hinge if we can, because that would allow us to have a much wider range of like angles we can go with. Whereas if we do it with the rotor, it'll be inset more into this armor, and we'll the range of motion will be limited more by the armor. We could grind more of the armor off, but that's not really ideal. So let's take a look here and see how far are we in this. Got some decent progress there. Go over here, we still don't have enough to finish off this, but we can get a good bit of it going for right now. Let me check inventory. I have some plate on me, so let's dump that in here. And let's go and hit that unknown signal. Should be getting pretty close to being at time for the recording. Yeah, we got 6 minutes left. So we'll pick this up, head back. Now we don't have a whole lot of time, which is good because my head's starting to like actually hurt pretty bad now. So this'll work out pretty well. I can hear my headset dying too. So if it like dies all the way, I'll still be able to talk and everything. I just won't hear any of the in-game sounds, which is fine, I guess. It's going to be annoying, but fine. Ooh, I'll grind that. Press it. Ooh, leopard drill. Cool. And back to the base. Yeah, my headset's beeping at me pretty heavy now, so I'm expecting any second now I'm going to have the audio cut out, and that'll be that. Got a mining carriage over there. Yeah, that's definitely armed. We're not going to be fighting that at all. Or at least not yet. Got a lot more to do before we're ready to take on encounters like that. And the wacky thing is, that's a mid-game encounter, but unlike a normal, like, unrestricted playthrough, by now we would be able to take on those no problem. Let's see, what's our production looking like here? Grab those and start throwing these in.
Energy low.
It's looking like our battery up there is drained now. So that's pretty good. We're gonna want to remember to switch the batteries from recharge to auto now. This one here, it's still on auto. So output, input 12. Stored power, we only have a few kilowatt hours left. It's still going to take 3 days for that to drain the rest of the way, which is fine. It's not fully empty, but that's okay. It's empty enough. We might be able to flip the ship upside down and just weld that up to it like that, or get it kind of close, detach, weld the weld pad to it, and then push it the rest of the way. Something like that would work. Because I don't know about welding this full ship to this grid. It shouldn't cause any issue, but at the same time I don't particularly want to do that. Let's see. It's not like this stopped. Your production. Oh, it was making plates, that's what it was. Disassemble. And go here and grab these plates into my personal inventory. So we're pretty close now. Yeah, we should still have a good bit of iron left in the components we do still have. In fact, I can go and turn on my refinery for a little bit. Okay, that was the alarm there. So we can turn this on for a second. Okay, I think that's done. So now we have a little bit more iron. Just a tiny amount from the scrap there. One thing that I would like to do as well is get the batteries that are damaged repaired up. We got 2 of those, and we need probably about, if I had to guess, about 50 or 60 power cells. No, it would be like, what, 78, something like that. I'm not good at quick math, but it's not a ton that we would need. Production, we're nearly done with that. Let's go to assembly. We still don't have quite enough iron to finish this off. So we'll let this run until it stops, grab the plate, move the plate in, and then start disassembling some more. Let's check in on the oxygen tank. How much do we actually have produced? 4% now. So it's definitely going faster, it feels like, having it turn in the correct orientation, but it's still pretty slow. But I think this is going to get us pretty much all the power we actually need. For now anyway, until we start getting bigger ships with more thrusters, higher power requirements, but for right now this should be fine. Okay, we got all the plate that we can get, so we'll go here, switch it back to disassembly, come back to the inventories, and move some more parts over. Do the rest of these. Actually, we can do... Nope, not the oxygen. Let's bring that back. I wanted to throw the detector components in there and then more large metal pipe. And come over here and assemble all. And yeah, I think that'll get us... Oh, actually we already have enough. So we're just going to cancel that and then go to assembly and let this finish. And still plate we have right now. Oh, okay, we actually already had enough. So I don't know where those extra plates came in from. get rid of that. So, we did successfully complete the ship. For now. What I do need, though, is to clear that and find the landing gear. And we need to try to pull the components for this. The rest of that producing. And let's see, we can throw it in right here, maybe. Would be a good place. I don't want it too close to the connector, but I don't want it too far up either. Maybe behind the connector actually would be better. Attached here, maybe? No? I'm not sure. I don't want to do it on the back. Sides. I could do it on the top, I guess. I don't know. I feel like right here would be the absolute best place for it, but I don't want it to be in the way of that connector. So we'll just slap it down right here. Fuck it. YOLO. Throw it down. So we got that going. Let's see, in the production, we're missing iron for the rest of that. I think we're good on the plates actually, but the rest of this we do still need iron for. So what I want to do is probably disassemble just one off of that, gain 10 off of the large steel tubes, so let's set like 100 of them. We'll get a good amount of that coming in. How much do I need? Oh, okay, we have more than enough now, so we can cancel that out and finish off production here. Should be able to grab that and bring that all over here. So, okay, now I do still need some steel plate, so let's grab that. Oops. There we go, production. We need 800 still. We're not going to get quite that much. We should be able to get the rest of the iron we need for the steel plate for that, and get the landing gear slapped on already. And with that, it'll conclude this episode. I'm going to let this finish first. We're going to get all of the ship building completely out of the way. And then in the next episode, we got a little bit of an option. We could work on the connectors for the docking first. Or we could just go ahead and jump in the ship and take off. But I think it would be a good idea to charge first. So probably connectors and let the ship charge a little bit. And that way we got some power. There we go, we'll go, oh, clear that out. And then come over here. Yeah, we got enough material now. But, what we can do is also make some solar cells. Because all that requires is nickel and silicon, which we have plenty of both of that. So we can slap some solar panels on there. Hell, even parts of the ship that like has the blaster doors and stuff, we can just cover that with solar panels and just let those be kind of like sacrificial. Missing one steel plate. Don't know why it does that, but that's very obnoxious. And that was for the landing gear. Okay, landing gear completely finished. We should be good on everything. I think I have some... Yeah, I have extra steel plate. Okay. Whatever, we'll throw that in there. And that'll do it for this episode. We finished the ship. We just need to do the connectors and plug the ship up. But I need to make sure that wherever we start the connector from, which might actually, the refinery would be a good place maybe. Could be a little bit short of a pipe. Not by much, but yeah, we could do it there, I guess. But we want to make sure that the ship is far enough away from the solar assembly here that it's not going to smack the ship and damage anything. But yeah, that's it. Episode done. Hit the save on this. We'll exit and save. And when we come back, we'll work on connectors, get the ship charged, build solar panels on it, and move that battery. Because now we have a landing gear, we can detach the battery, fly the ship down to the side, bring it up, back over the top of the battery, connect up to it with the landing gear, and bring it in place to weld to the base. But we'll do all that in the next episode. For now, go ahead and stop recording, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.